Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of GTA Biz, where every week we interview business owners or people who work in interesting industries around the GTA. So today we have May and Paul here. May and I, we met at Realtor Quest when we had a booth there, and then you came over and I think you spun our wheel, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's a realtor. Kind of, right?
Yeah,
Part-time.
I'm
Supply teacher.
Yeah, I just started.
Yeah, she just started. So I remember that day. And Paul, like, tell us, what do you do?
Actually, I'm my wife's an assistant. So I'm helping her to promote her company, actually, and also I'm also a teacher too.
Oh, okay.
And besides that, also I have another business on the side, and I'm also I do wedding officiating, counseling, and
Wedding officiating. What does that mean?
wedding officiating means you actually I partnership with one of my partners. We come together to open a called PNP Associate Inc. And so this officiating people who like to get married legally, so we officiate that.
Oh,
Actually,
so
he is the one who does that. I'm kind of the director of
so
operation.
it's like if people want to get married, but they're not
They don't-
Catholic, or they don't do it in a church.
Or we can do it in church, or they want to do it in a city hall, or
So it's
golf.
not like the person, like the priest or something. It's like the person that signs it in document form. That's like you guys are married or something.
Yes. He does all the work. I'm just
okay.
kind of supporting my partners.
Oh, but you have so many things going on. Are you a full-time teacher?
Yes, I'm a
Oh, so
full-time-
you're a full-time teacher and you do the two other things on
yes,
the side.
just support my wife as her assistant.
Her assistant.
and also I'm an assistant to my business partner. He does the officiating. And I'm just doing the direction of the company. Planning.
Okay.
The backstage.
Well, I want to say that we do offer a lot of service. So wedding, so something relate to wedding, and then something relate to, I guess, relate to wedding as well as for planning,
Wedding photography?
Not photography, but like decoration, flowers, and all that. And plus,
Like the event planning. And
yeah, well, event planning and more decorations, and then makeup, hairstylist, and then also house, because after you get married you need to get a house, so it's like a lot of service. And then if you want to sell your house, we have stagers too. Like I have a lot of resources.
Oh, okay. So that's your plan. Your plan is to when you get more into real estate, you're going to center around the people moving to a new house,
Yeah.
or not people moving to a new house, but like families getting married, so you can always do the officiating and then you can tie everything together, kind of thing.
Yes,
Yes.
it's just sorry interruption. I talk too much, but it's like a one-stop shop, right?
One-stop shop.
For everything you need. So for those people who like pre-marriage counseling, post-marriage counseling, they're looking for a house, all the things that we provide. Just one, like a one-stop shop.
One-stop shop for marriages.
For pretty well, and buy a new house.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we do. So
Yeah.
we connect and staging the house. So, providing services to the Greater Toronto area.
Oh, cool. So I'm actually interested. We'll talk about this house thing later. I know it was supposed to be the main topic, but
Yes.
like, what do you teach as a teacher?
Or I teach instrumental music in the middle school.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
In middle school, so that's you said grade 7. We
Six,
talked earlier.
6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8. Instrument. Oh, so you teach like every instrument?
I am. This moment I'm teaching strings, so violin, viola, and cello.
Oh.
Yes, and also I do teach band instrument too, but my specialty right this moment is strings.
Oh, so in middle school they have different courses because I only took elementary school and then high school, right? And in elementary school we only had one teacher that taught everything. Like I was playing the trumpet, but then he taught like the whole class. And then in high school it was just one teacher too.
Right. Actually, we live in Toronto, so
Uh-huh.
so they offer more varieties of programs.
Oh, so
Yes.
like even
then
in middle
P-
school they have
yeah.
like strings and then like
And
percussion,
band, yes.
whatever. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
How did when did you start playing the what all three? Violin,
No,
viola, and cello?
I play the cello, and
That's the big one, right?
and yeah, is
That's the biggest one?
Not the
No.
biggest. The bass is the biggest one.
Oh,
Double
yeah.
bass. So
Double.
it's
Can you play that too?
same size. Yeah, if you know your basic strings, techniques, so
Uh-huh.
you can transfer your skills for violin, viola, and for bass, double bass. So it's very similar. So yeah, this is my 13, 14-year teaching. So
Oh,
yes.
13, 14-year
Yes,
teaching.
yes.
Do you have any goals like relating to that area? Are you gonna have your own academy, or are you gonna
Maybe one day in the
Yeah.
future open another company with
Yeah.
another partner, maybe doing the planning, and maybe somebody can,
the wedding planning, and then you can be the instrumental in the
yes,
the
yes. Actually, hopefully,
You know,
one-stop
together.
shop, is eventually people get married,
Uh-huh.
and they need a house,
Uh-huh.
and they have kids. We have to
Mhm.
provide a school, right? So
Mhm.
hopefully one day we can do that.
Mhm.
So provide holistic services.
Mm-hmm. Now, if someone asks you like, what can I get from your company as opposed to another wedding planning company? Like, is there what can you say to them? Like, what sets you apart?
We are dedicated. We are positive, authentic, genuine, and we have a lot of resources. We work with so many different people,
Mm-hmm.
and to provide the best services
Mhm.
and competitive services in
Mhm.
Toronto
Mhm.
areas. And especially we have my wife is a realtor,
Mhm.
agent, so that
Mhm.
we combine everything, just like a
Yeah.
combo.
Yeah,
Combo
co-
A,
combo-
A,
combo
combo B, combo C, and combo
Get
D.
married and get a house,
Yeah.
in the same combo.
Yes, exactly, right.
Yeah.
And eventually, maybe when we have kids, then provide school for it, so
Yeah.
that we want to be one-stop shop for everything.
Oh yeah. And do people usually get married first and then they get a house? I guess.
Yeah, sometimes depends because right now the young people when they first started they
Yeah.
would do working and try to save enough money,
Mhm.
and then they probably usually get married first because
Mhm.
usually beginning they will probably do rent the house. So
Mhm.
we do rent, like we also provide rent
Leases
like
and stuff?
leasing as well,
Uh-huh.
not just selling and buying but also leasing. And then also and then when they have enough money they will save to do, I think young people or first time home
Mhm.
buyer will usually do more pre-constructions
Mhm.
than buying and selling like a house,
Mhm.
because the house is too
Mhm.
expensive for kids or for
Mhm.
young people to afford to buy.
Mhm.
So I think that's where my focus is,
Mhm.
is that leasing
Leasing?
and pre-constructions.
Oh, so you would help a lot of first-time home buyers. then.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. And it's true. Like a lot of the housing prices are going higher and higher like every year. Like not a lot of people, especially in Toronto. Like if you
Yeah.
get a house like somewhere else, then
Yeah, but
it's a
also
different story.
but also the commute time too. Like you have to put in consideration as a commute.
Mhm.
You know how difficult get around during the traffic hour. How many, like it's a give and take.
Mhm.
Depends on, you want to live far, that means your commute time will be double or triple. And sometimes people when they first started they probably won't be able to afford both housing and the car, so they will probably take public transit. And then it really depends on the weather and then like during traffic hours, actually the public transit is better, but they sometimes if
Yeah.
there's any problem, you won't be able to make it to the work, which is not like in a way it's not reliable.
So that's why they should
employee.
get a lease and they should,
Like
rent.
they
Yeah.
that's basically what they need to put in consideration.
When
like
they're
I know
thinking of getting a cheaper house. Yeah.
because I know outside of GTA, you are a cheaper housing, but the commute time might be too long for you, right? So it and then also that will be in considerations when we sit down and talk about your plan. What is the best need? Where's your need, and where's the best choice for you? So what I do is, because I'm really new, and then I just personalize what your need depends on your need, and then find the best plan for you that will fit your need and also best out of your situations.
Okay, that makes sense. And by the way, the wedding, the wedding, what is it called? Wedding. What do you call the whole business?
Oh, we call
wedding.
because
Wedding combo. Wedding combo. Company.
yes, and what we call wedding house combo. Yes.
Wedding house combo. So do you guys? How long have you started that for?
Oh, my business partner and I just started, and about we just started last year, and last year, but we're just more involved this year, as he is he's the director of events. I'm the director of operation. I operate, and he does all the events things. So we are trying to have all the resources, come together and provide a positive, authentic, genuine services for wedding and for the housing.
Okay, and if anyone wants to find information, do you have a website up yet, or?
Oh, yes, we do.
We do. What is it?
I am excited to share with you.
Okay.
Yes, it's www.pmp. No, sorry. So So the website is www. And let me check again. It is on pmpassociateslink.com.
PMP Associates Link.
Yeah.
Oh, P and what?
PMP.
Oh, P and P, like P and then AND P.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Associates
Inc.
Yes.
.com.
Yes. If you turn the card and our missions,
We sincerely endeavor to provide a positive, authentic, trustworthy, exceptional, holistic services to every client for them to have a blessed experience. We're here to help you. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. And it's the site looks good.
Oh,
it's a beginner site right now. I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet.
I would say it's very professional, because I'm
okay.
the planning of it. I'm the director of operations, so I do the backstage work, and he does all the front stage. And he has more time in his hands, because I have to be my wife's assistant too. Yeah. So I'm trying to be his assistant, and also I have another job. So but
right now it's summer holiday right now, right?
Yes, summer vacation
until September.
Yes, until September.
And when it's September, you'll be really busy, I guess.
And busy, busy, of course, with school, but busy. This is a time, and the best time for real estate and for the wedding. And all the preparation is starting about May until October.
May.
May.
That's
yes.
Yeah.
My wife, May.
Yeah,
but the month of May to October.
Yeah. And then because I'm a supply teacher, so I do have the flexibility of when I work. So it depends on where the
you have the flexibility. I thought supply teachers, they just call you when they call you when they need you, and you can't say no. You have to go.
Yeah,
right?
but also you can pre-book, right? So and then a lot of supply teaching, they call you the day or the night before. So I started my supply teaching since 2011. So I do have a lot of contacts. So that they call me ahead of time, but most likely we have a system that computer called us and then you can usually block yourself off.
Oh, okay.
So if they didn't call me yet,
Yeah.
like tonight, and then I can block off myself tomorrow,
Oh.
or like I know I'm going to show a client something, then I can just block myself, and then
okay.
if as long as you don't block off yourself more than 2
Mhm.
weeks, you don't need to get pre-approved. So.
Oh, okay. And as a supply teacher, like, do you just sort of it's for elementary school or?
No, I do high school. I don't do elementary.
Oh, okay.
I deal with older students. I like
Yeah.
older students.
No, but there's a different personality needed for different, like, elementary schools versus high school. I think like elementary school, I read this article. You have to be more, nice because it's like kids, and then you have to be like, oh, come here and come in line. It's more, whereas high school it's more disciplinary. It's like hey guys, blah 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 blah, blah, right?
No, not necessary, because
But to be a good one, that's what I read.
like I know you have to be firm with them, because
Uh-huh.
there are certain rules they have to follow.
Mhm.
But however, high school, I feel the student is more like you can communicate, you can talk to them, not really necessarily be more like peer. Well, not really, because it's still like you are the teacher, they are the student, they're supposed to listen to you, but
Yeah.
it's
You're
more like
supposed
yeah, nowadays the kids is harder to deal with, but anyway, but I think the relationship is a little bit different. Like you can like kind of talk to them, like they can be part of their education as well, so like they can provide suggestion. Okay, teacher, we would like this more, we want to, like, they talk about a lot of the global competency, like global issues. There is more connect to the society as well.
Have you tried both, by the way? Have you tried like elementary school supply teaching and? Oh, okay. And you
So
like
when
high
I
school
first started, I have the whole panel. So I started I like elementary and high school. Actually, I hired as a high school supply teacher, and then I put my name on the elementary as well. So I do both. So I can teach anywhere from grade 4 and up to grade 12
And how long have you been supply teaching for?
since 2011.
So that's like 8 years.
9 years.
So how
yeah.
come you wanted to be? How come you decided to be a realtor now? And so if you continue supply teaching, will you be like a full-time teacher?
Well,
Kind of like Paul?
yeah, I think it's just getting another brush, you can say, like another career, just in case the other doesn't work out, or because I as a supply teacher, you do have more free times, because I don't need to plan, I don't need to mark. That's the biggest difference between regular teacher and the supply teacher. So basically my working hour is in school from like whenever the school starts, like 8:30 to 4, and then I'm off. So my evening, my weekend, I'm free. Versus like I got a couple LTO, which is long-term occasional, which you teach as plan and mark as well. Deal everything that same as permanent teacher. You just doesn't get the contract per se, but you are still working for the set time that you are in for. As long as more than 10 days you are doing long term. So I do have, and then it gives me flexibility of going work different stuff.
Oh, okay. So now I have a question for the both of you. Since you're both teachers to some degree, supply teacher, music teacher.
Yes.
By the way, you don't have a lot of marking as a music teacher.
Oh,
right?
we do.
You do? What do you mean? What do you mark? You
we-
just mark them when they play, right?
Yes, it's on-site marking.
Yeah, so it's
So-
not like you go home and then you mark.
And sometimes we do, with theories, we do, take, a theory test home to mark. But most of the marking is done in class.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So yeah, that wasn't the question for the both of you. The question for the both of you is, as a teacher in general, I guess, a teacher in general, what do you think is the best part about being a teacher? And then the next question I'll ask you is, what is the worst part? and because in every industry, every career, there's like, it takes a certain personality to do it well. Like if you're, for example, if you're a garbage truck driver or something, like there are goods and there are bad things. Like you need to be able to handle the smell, right? Like so people that are able to handle smell, they need that in order to succeed in that industry. So the first question is, what do you think is the best part about being a teacher?
Well, I guess I will answer that first, and then he will do whatever.
Okay, you'll do whatever. You'll dance, sing.
So I feel like why I become a teacher is that a high school teacher that helped me through my when I first came to Canada. Of course, I don't know anything. I don't know English, and then I'm struggles through the school, and my teacher helped me, guide me, not necessarily academic, but also social aspect, the emotional support. So that's why I want to be a teacher.
Oh, really? My teachers never did that to me.
Yeah,
is it like a elementary school or
no?
High
It was
school?
high school. When I came, it was grade 11. You know how difficult it is because it's grade 11. The English is like Shakespeare. I have no English background. And
where did you come from? Because your last name is Lee. Are you Chinese?
Taiwan, yeah.
Oh.
So we do have some, but you never able to get a very good English background if you are coming from a non-English speaking country, right?
Oh.
So
the best part is being able to help people. And
so that's why I feel a good teacher will make a huge difference in a student's life, and then that really help some of the students. And then most of my students that when I left end of my LTOs, they are saying, "Oh, Miss, you are so good teacher. Why you don't continue? You don't want to be our teacher for next term or for next year?" Because everyone will ask, "Oh, Miss, next year, what are you teaching?" I say, "My term finished today," or something like that. So it does change a lot of students' life somehow. I know it's not really dramatic because we can't really solve all their problems, but we can be there to support them, to guide them, and then so it's different. I also have a guidance qualifications too. So
like a guidance counselor.
Yeah. So
I had one in my school. I never went though.
Yeah, I know most people doesn't really go there. But they even just regular teacher being there and talk to them, help them. And then a lot of people right now, they are facing way more complication problem than we have when we were growing up. So that's why I feel being a teacher is that I like to help people. So that's why great. I think real estate is the same thing, because when I was doing my purchasing or selling my house, I didn't get a very good experience, and I think they can do more in order to help people to be housing itself is so big investment, and then that person to help you, although we are not really we are in just helping them, the final decision is still theirs, but along the way this will be very different. That's why I feel it's the same housing or the teacher. We really are helping them to get what they want and help them with our expertise. Yeah, that makes sense. So you like helping people. That's the best part about being a teacher. What about you, Paul?
On the same side as May.
On the same side, or it's not this? It's exactly the same, or
no. Of course, not the same. But no, is there similar similarity aspect of it? And I love to see the transformation of the students. As they growing up, as they are. And as they're growing up, and you see that they are become mature, and you're transforming a student's life, because you are as a teacher, you have a lot of impact on a student's life,
Mm-hmm.
especially the future leaders. Maybe
Mhm.
you're teaching the future, doctors, lawyers, judges, right? So
Mhm.
we want to make a strong impact into students' life,
Mhm.
and a positive one, and
Mhm.
a caring one in the same
Mhm.
time, right? So I think we really, and I do believe that every student can learn.
Mhm.
And so I spend a lot of time helping my students to be
Mhm.
successful. And I don't
Mhm.
think any student cannot learn. They just have different style of learnings, right?
Mhm.
So we really love working with kids and working with students. And I think the downsides of it right this moment is, as you understand that our provincial government, Honorable Doug Ford, then
Mhm.
they are kind of cutting backs, right? And cutting backs hurt kids,
Mhm.
especially on the racial wise. And if you know high school is that, and they have laid off a lot of teachers in the school boards,
Mhm.
and because of cutbacks, and you're
Mhm.
not doing benefits to our society when you are cutting back so much, and that you're not helping the student to be a good citizens in the future. So and even for elementary too, they're cutting back, and that hurts kids in the social, emotional, academic ways.
Mhm.
So I think that the downsides of that is that we have too many students in a class, right?
Not
And
enough teachers.
not
That's
enough
the reason
teachers.
why it's because
Yes,
not enough teachers.
and especially in music,
Mhm.
you can have up to 40 to 50 kids in a
Oh
room,
wow!
and it's
And you don't get to have the time to spend in each one to do what you like
exactly
doing. Yeah.
right. We're here to support and help the student to grow,
Mhm.
and it's very difficult. You only have 50 minutes,
Mhm.
and so if you have 50 students in a
Mhm.
classroom, then you're giving 1 minute to each student,
Mhm.
right? And it's not beneficial,
Mhm.
right? And research shows that you need to have the undivided time for each student for them to do well.
So had a few quick questions. So what do you think is the worst part of being a teacher?
Mm,
That is a very good question.
It is very good, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know.
I think
If to be honest, what is the worst part?
I will not say the worst part. I
Okay.
like to say the most challenged
Okay,
part.
the most
Right.
challenged.
The most challenged part as being a teacher is that we have a very unique diversity of students.
Mhm.
Right, and it's very difficult, as I mentioned again, I'm sorry, is that we're not able to meet the needs of the students when there's a cutback
Mhm.
on teachers, and not only teachers but the support workers too. So that is, and I think that the worst part is to see students suffer.
Mhm.
I think we're very compassionate
Mhm.
about teaching because we really want to help others. We both
Mhm.
are Christians.
Mhm.
We see that helping other is what that's what the Bible says. The most important, because God first loved us,
Mhm.
that we supposed to love others
Yeah.
and to
Now,
help others.
When you said it's bad to see that you don't want to see the children suffer, I'm trying to imagine it like in a high school and middle school situation. Are the students gonna be like, oh, I'm suffering? It's just they, like, some students, they don't really care, right? They don't really care about school. Or is that what you're talking about? And you want to help them be a better person, but they don't care about it. They're not actually, like, they don't feel like really sad.
No. I think, of course, in the society we're living in this moment, right, there's a lot of mental health issues with the students, right? So if there's cutback on the teachers and support workers, then we're not able to address all the issues that they supposed to have, that to get extra help, like, to psychologies or, psychiatrists, to help them, or to see a guidance counselor to support them, right? So I think for the students, they may not realize they're suffering, right? But actually the parents know the kids are suffering because of the cutbacks that is happening. I understand the cutbacks, to be honest, to be frank with you. I think maybe, I think the cutback should start with all the, MPs first. Like, they cut their salary, and to really help If I know there's cutback to balanced budgets, but if they cut back on their salaries or they cut back, don't misspend any money, then I think you're able to, balance budget, and you're able to set good examples. If you want to cut back, you should cut back your salary first. To cut back, the doctors, the nurse, the hospitals, education. Of course, education and hospital, healthcare is the most, the big chunk of the budget in Ontario. But I think, to set a good example, the MPs, all the, they should cut their spendings, their own salaries.
So I haven't been following along too much. I don't know the cutback, what it's cutting back into. But like education is what they're cutting back on, right? Now is what they're cutting back on. They still have a budget. What they're putting the money to, is that cause like less important than education, that you think? Or because like there are different causes, right? They're just splitting the budget between different things. Now, are there other things important too? Because some people might think education is very important. Some people will think healthcare is very important. Some people will think, growing economic development. Some people are thinking, to create more jobs in Toronto is more important, right? Because there's so many different things. It all comes down to that.
Right.
Like, do you think the other things where the budget is going towards is less important, or?
To be honest, I think it's important is healthcare education is the most important, right? So if you have better healthcare, right, educate the patient of not smoking, and of course that in the long term, the investment you invest right now, educating them, it may take a little bit more money, but at the same time that you're preventing, people who have lung cancer in the future. In the same way, if you educate a student well enough, supporting the less suicides or there's less crimes going on. So I think these are maybe not, you don't see it at this moment, but the impact of it, but there's a long-term impact on saving and social, especially the social aspect of the society we're in, right?
Yeah, and then academic-wise, like because the education budget was cut, so the ratio of a teacher to a students will increase, and then a lot of, I guess, the real good students, they might not really feel the difference, but the people who is struggling is the greatest impact. And then a lot of kids we see in high school is that they feel that they are not successful, they drop out high school, the dropout rate will decrease. The dropout rate will increase, and then it's create a problem in later on in their life, because they don't have a diploma or something. They couldn't find a job, and then they will go on with social assistance and all that. It's like it's going like a circle, right? So it's like you creating more problems later on in their life. You got more, you got less teachers, which is probably good because it's less spending as a government. But you creating more problem later on
in terms of healthcare and everything.
Healthcare, the crime rates and everything, right? And people will be on social welfare, right? Then you're paying more taxes in the future, right? Then you're, the one I'm trying to say, I think what we're trying to say is that you are creating more problem in the future, right? If you have a proper investment now, I know it's a little bit much, right? But at the same time, in the future, you have less crime rate or less, and you're able to create more jobs. They pay taxes, right? If they find a good job.
It's like what they say, like 1 ounce of prevention is worth 1 pound of cure. But yeah, so my final question of today is, because a lot of things are under our control, a lot of things are not out of our control. So there might be a lot of educators or people like you guys, teachers, who might watch this video. So let's talk about what is in our control, because technically you can argue that the budget towards education is in our control if everyone like step up and everyone like raises a flag at the same time, like they'll change the budgets. But let's just talk about what we can really control. Like, what advice do you have to other educators, even with the budget cut? How can you make use of this time with the students to make it more effective?
Another very good question. Yes, a lot of questions. That's
Yeah.
very good questions you asked.
Uh-huh.
And so, I think we as you know that a lot of teachers went through teachers college.
Mhm.
And they have designated as a Ontario and certified teachers.
Mhm.
So a lot of teachers do care about students,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Of course that we do our best, and sometimes a lot of teachers do not eat lunch. So in
Mhm.
our control, we don't eat lunch. We help
Mhm.
the students,
Mhm.
and we hold student back. We don't take a break. We hold student back, and we help the student with their academic or sometimes socially. They have, my in the middle school or high school, or my boyfriend, broke up with me. I need to talk about it,
Yeah.
and so we talk.
So people
about,
actually come up and talk to you.
yeah, they talk about that.
So your
Uh,
advice to other educators is to not eat lunch and talk to the students.
No. I say, most. I know that most of our educators are doing that already.
Oh.
We're doing that already, and
Uh-huh.
we're like a professional educator. We're doing that
Uh-huh.
already. I'm not saying we're not doing, but
Uh-huh.
but I think there's a how do I say this is there is a only there's only m- there's only what we can there's only limit to what we can do.
Mhm.
Okay, there's a limit to what we can do,
Mhm.
right? And of course you're not killing yourself,
Mhm.
because I know a lot of teachers are dedicated teachers
Mhm.
and love the student. They stay up doing lesson plan until 3 o'clock in the morning marking, and they start
Mhm.
working until 7 o'clock, right?
Mhm.
Of course we have to realize teachers are humans. We're not we're not able to stay up every day to mark and to only have 3 hours sleep, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're doing I believe a lot of educators are doing that already, and
Mhm.
spending the time caring for the students
Mhm.
at lunchtime, at break time, or even after school.
Mhm.
We're doing the best, but still of course there's still more area that we can continue to tackle if
Mhm.
there's more funding to it.
Mhm. Okay.
Maybe my wife have other things to
Well, we are doing what we can as educators. That's why we feel like if all the educator can do the best of what they can do, then the kids is the beneficiary,
Mhm.
right? So like we really, really emphasize our future generation that they got the best out of it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, May. Thanks a lot, Paul. Let's shake hands in front of the camera.
Yes.
So-
Thank you
so-
for inviting us.
yeah.
We appreciate
Yeah.
that.